Hello everyone, B.O.B. here, and welcome to another Minecraft tutorial. And today, we're going to build a chicken cooker. So I got a request a little while ago to do a tutorial on a decent chicken cooker. And, well, in Bedrock Edition, they're so incredibly simple. This is something I just pretty much threw together. Um, what makes them so easy is we don't have to time out our lava blade anymore like we used to in the old PlayStation edition. So we can just kind of have a lava block sitting there, and when chickens grow up big enough, they'll automatically get cooked, and they drop their feathers and their cooked chicken down into the chest below. Um, as you can see, this is very, very simple contraption. What you see is what you get. There's nothing really hidden here. Uh, Productivity is pretty much relative to the number of chickens you put in the back here. And I don't know, of course, if you put too many in there, you're going to get less spawning in down here. So, I mean, there's a fine number. I usually go more than 10, less than 20. uh, Either way, they're not incredibly fast. I mean, you're not going to AFK near this thing for an hour and get a stack of chicken. Um, in fact, for the first 20 minutes, half hour after you build it, you probably won't get anything at all because you got to wait for baby chicks to spawn, and then whenever they do spawn, you got to wait for them to grow up so they can finally get cooked. And they don't spawn every time one of these guys lays an egg. You basically got a 1 in 8 chance of a baby chick spawning in down here, and then, like I said, uh, gotta wait for it to grow. So, I mean, these things do take some time, but they're completely automatic. You set it up, you go do something else for a little while, you come back later, you pick up some cooked chicken and feathers. And the materials needed for this build, you can see in this chest right here, you're going to need at least one chest, one dispenser, two hoppers, one redstone comparator, one redstone repeater, one dash of redstone dust, one slab, 8 pieces of glass, and those are kind of optional. I mean, it's recommended so you can see your chickens in there. uh, but then some building blocks. Obviously, you're not going to need a whole stack of these things. I counted around like 18 or 20 in the actual build. But I mean, if you're going to lure chickens up into this or lead them with a lead, you'd want to build yourself a temporary staircase to the top of it so you can get the chickens up there. But I mean, with a chicken farm, you can always just gather up a whole bunch of eggs and keep throwing them until you spawn in as many chickens as you need. Uh, for chickens in this tutorial, I'll just be using a chicken spawn egg because I'm in creative and I can do that. But the last thing you'll need is just a bucket of lava. Now, the area for this build is 3 wide by 6 long, and how we want to get started is we're going to come right to the center, right up front. We're going to place a chest, and feeding into the back of that chest, we're going to have a hopper, and then right behind that hopper, we're going to want a solid block. I don't have any in my inventory. Let me do that real quick. And then right on top of that solid block, we're going to want a dispenser, but we're going to want to come over here and stand in front of our chest to place it. So that way that dispenser is facing right over the top of that hopper. And then right on the face of that dispenser, on the bottom side, go ahead and place a half slab. And then we're just going to kind of surround that half slab with glass. So one on each side and one right up front. And then let's come around here to the back, and we're going to have another hopper feeding into the back of that dispenser. And then we want to pull a comparator signal out of that hopper, so we're going to place a solid block down so we can place our comparator on top of that. Have that comparator feeding into a solid block, so I'm going to just pillar up here and break away that bottom block. And then right below this floating block here, I want to dash redstone dust. And that's going to feed that redstone signal back into this block, which we're going to pull it out of that block with a repeater and send it right back into this block. So I have that repeater sitting there right beneath your hopper there. No need to make any adjustments on that. That's all of the redstone. That's it. That's all the programming needed for this particular build. So I want to come up on top. I'm going to go ahead and just place a solid block on top of this dispenser. And then I'm going to go ahead and place more glass blocks on top of each of the glass blocks I have in place. And then we're going to go ahead and just dump a bucket of lava right there. It's probably a good idea to cover this up so you don't accidentally fall in there. So I just put a solid block on top of that. You could use a half slab, piece of glass, whatever. You know, it doesn't matter. But this is what you should have so far. Now we just need a little chamber to hold our chickens in place. So we can start off with just a solid block here. I'm going to go ahead and just place that right there. And then I'll place a piece of glass coming off that right beside the hopper there, so that way I can see my chickens on top of the hopper. That's not necessary. You don't have to do that at all. But place 3 more blocks across the back of this, and then we'll place another piece of glass on the other side. Also not necessary. There's a dying chick. Uh, and then 1 more solid block. Actually, now that I think about it, those 2 aren't even necessary. But you do want to have kind of a lip up on top of this thing, well, at least around the center block. I usually like to build a whole platform if I am like doing this, just that way. I don't know. I don't know. I fall a lot. But I'm gonna go ahead and spawn my chickens in with these spawn eggs. But you could use just regular eggs, just kind of toss them in right here. You should be able to avoid the baby chicks while you're doing it. I'm gonna go ahead and just spawn in, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. Sounds good. And then just block them in. And there it is. Chicken farm all done, ready to go. It'll take a little while. You gotta wait for them baby chicks to start spawning in there, and then wait for them baby chicks to start growing up before it produces a single thing. But I mean, it'll produce infinitely. It'll just keep going. Just set it up, walk away, come back, collect your stuff. But these things are a constant, reliable food source, and they're great early game. I mean, it's easy to come across chickens, it's easy to come across eggs, and there's very little into this build, and it's a constant, renewable food source. I mean, you don't even have to do anything for it. Just come by every now and again and pick up your chicken. So, my friends, that completes today's tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. I haven't mentioned it in the past few tutorials, but I do take requests. So if there's any contraptions or farms or anything you'd like to see tutorials for on the PS4, or I guess, well, in Bedrock Edition, please do let me know about that. I'll see if I can help you out with that. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that like button, and if you're interested in seeing more from me, consider hitting that subscribe button as well. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching and wish you all a wonderful day.